Good morning, it's the 20th of July 2023. This is my trading plan for today. It's an earlier video because I'm going to my daughter's school concert half an hour before the market opens, and I won't be back, or unlikely I'll be back when the market opens. I'll be back probably about half an hour, 45 minutes after. So I want to get this video in early, and then in my mind then I can then plan ahead a little tiny bit. Just looking at the economic calendar for today, there's nothing of high importance coming up, but we do have some 8:30 news. They're all rated between 1 and 2 on the importance, so we may see a little bit of movement, but not enough to worry about, I don't think. And that's the reason why I'm doing my video a bit earlier, before these levels. I usually won't do my video, look at my levels till after 8:30 when we get the first lot of news coming. But today I'm working a little bit earlier. So on my chart at the moment, I've got the ES 1 week chart, and I always trade off the MES chart, but the ES there's no drawings on this apart from this one level I've marked up, which is this level here. So 46.31 on the weekly is where we're coming into, and I think we've got a little bit of unfinished business on this run up, and I think we're going to touch this area, 46.31. And then we may start looking for a bit of a rejection back down, probably up back to the 20, possibly to the 50 down here. So this is an area we want to be watching out for. We're quite extended on the daily, and we're getting quite extended on the weekly, and I think I went over yesterday. If you look at the weekly, last time I was up in this area, it was a run up of 2021 through to 2022. And the weekly literally ran along the 8 moving average, and the only time it pulled back was to the 20. So we've got the 20, the 20, the 20 there, the 20 there. And I talked yesterday about having some trap buyers. You know, last time we moved back to the 20, we moved up, we moved back down to the 20, we moved up, then we moved back down to the 20, and then we started to move up, and then we broke down. So what I'm expecting to see is maybe a lot of buyers, if they haven't already, start getting out of their trades which they've been holding for a year and a half almost. And we may have had some selling yesterday when we got into these buyers here and wanted to get out. Maybe we've got a few buyers here as well. But I think when we hit this level, which is this weekly level, I think that's a lot of people will be grateful to get out at break even. So possibly we should see a big rejection candle come down. That's what I think. If we still see continued selling, then obviously we've got the all-time high 48.08 to consider, but 4700 is a psychological number, just like 4600 was, which was a bit muted yesterday. It went through it, it hovered around it. It wasn't 4605 and 4610 were the two numbers, and again they were based on areas of convolution. So 4610 and 4605 will be, let's look up on here, 4610 is about there, and 4605 is that yellow line. So that's the area. So the area I was watching was this area, and that's where I took my shorts yesterday, and it worked really well. So moving on to today, so just note down this number 4631 is something to write down and something to think about, because that's an area I think we're going to see a bit of a bounce, a bit of a rejection. So looking at the hourly chart, I'm still in April 2022, and what we're looking at is 4590 to 4600. So this is that psychological number we had yesterday, 4600, and we had an area here. In fact, if you look, we got the bottoms of candles and the tops of candles, and it kind of went straight through it, and the real resistance was at 4605, which is marked by this yellow dotted line, 4610, which is marked by the bottom of this red zone, which I've drawn up along here, and they were based on this area here. And you can see it's quite a busy area. We've got tops of candles coming in, we've got bottoms of candles, tops of candles, tops of candles, a pivot there, and so all this area, this entire area was a busy area, and that's why I was confident that we were going to see a rejection, which we did. But if we do break through this again today, then we've got a pivot here at 46.20 area, and then obviously we've got the high at 46.31. So yeah, so we've got some levels still to play. We're not in no man's land at the moment, and we haven't broken above all-time highs. So based on that, today I'm going to be watching for a possible rejection again at 46.10 to 46.12. So these areas here. So that's what I'm watching for, this area here, the top of basically this red zone. I'll go in onto the up-to-date chart in a second. So I'm looking for the tops of this red zone, and I've got this 46.12.75 line drawn in. That's my preferred entry area for a rejection back down. And again, I wanted to show you what this chart, because going back to April the 30th, March the 30th 2022, just to get these levels I've had to be looking at the weekly and the going back a long time on the hourly chart. So these are probably significant areas, so areas to note. And for bounces, we've got this green area here, this green zone going across at 45.88 through to 45.79 area, so 45.80 area, and we can see we've had areas of convergence there. We've got tail there, all these tails where it's tried to bounce off and then finally broke through, and then we had it rejected up here and rejected and rejected. So it's a significant area. So let's now remember those numbers. So 46.12 and 45.80, and we can go back to today. Here we go. So still on the hourly chart. So 46.12 is up here, so it's a bit clearer to see. Yesterday we hit 46.10, well just under by 50 cents, and rejected it straight out, and that was, look at that, right at the bottom of the zone I drew in. So these areas are significant, even though it's a year and a half ago. People, they've got people like to I believe the market likes to repeat itself, or history repeats itself, and it bounced off those areas before, and it's bounced off it again yesterday. So the other area was looking at 40. So areas I'm watching for now is this area here, this green zone, and we've got 45.80 area, and look at that, it happens to be an area where we came up, we thought about it, we pulled back, and it took a bit of time, and it broke through, and then it came back, it tried to retest that area, and we retested it there again last night, yesterday on the sell-off, the end of close yesterday. So, or no, that was post-market, I think. So we tested that area. So again, going back a year and a half, these levels are significant levels, and we look like we're putting in a bit of maybe a lower high and a higher low. I mean higher high, higher low, just about a higher high, but it's on reducing volume, so we're probably going to see a bit of a bounce, but this is the level we want watching for. So we're still in an uptrend, and we're only in the uptrend because of this lovely 50 moving average, and the moment we break through that area and we pull back to retest, we may have a nice short on. So this red line is a weekly area, and I'll be watching for a breakthrough and retest. If it lines up with the moving average, that'll be even better. And we've got this area of 1 hour resistance, so it's not a great area, it's a higher risk trade because we're so close to where we are now. But that's what I'll be looking for, a break and retest of the 200 for a move down. If we do break down and I don't take that on my way, then I'll be looking for a potential bounce here, 45.65 area to 45.68, and then we've got this area of demand down here, and that is 45.45 to 45.50 area, but preferably 45.45 will be the nice area to get in, and that's what I've marked with the yellow dotted line. So to recap on the MES or ES chart, we're looking at a break and retest of 45.89, We're looking for a potential rejection over at 4612 area. I may consider 4605 again because yesterday it proved to be an area that'll be a scalp. And then we've got a potential bounce at 4565. I would say higher risk, but if we're below, because we'll be below the 50 and we'll be in a, technically we might be trending down at that point, so that's a higher risk scalp trade. And then we've got this nice bounce area at 45.50 area, 45.45. So these are the areas I'm watching. I'm going to keep these up to remind myself in a minute. And I'll get this written down and put on the Discord server. So they're the areas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas. Let me take a screenshot. Okay, so I'm going to look at SPY now. Right, let's take a screenshot, that's just to remind me. What is it? MES. Okay, so they're my levels, and then SPY is very similar. So let's get rid of the drawings. That's why I took the screenshot, because I'm going to get rid of the drawings. I'm not really taking a look, I'm not written anything down, I'm analysing it as I'm going along in this video. So this is live analysing and deciding what levels I'm going to take. And the good thing is you get to see what I do every morning before the market. So this is how I look at it. I go back, I look at levels, I re-update the chart, I look at the SPX, and I look at the SPY chart to see whether they're all in sync with each other. So looking at the SPY chart, we've got this pivot we just talked about. So that's a potential bounce, but it will be below this 50 moving average. But what I'll be looking for, again, and that's if I've got my SPY account open, because I might just stick with futures. But what I'm ideally looking for is a breakdown and a retest of this area. And we've got this area demand, and if we break through it, that area will no longer be demand, it will be a supply area. And that area is purely based on, again, going back a year and a half, but also we've got the tops of candles and the bottom of candles. Not great areas to scalp, but this zone is a significant area on the weekly, so going back to last year. So we want to keep a note. So if we do come in, you may want to consider a bounce at 453.50 or 453 or 453.04, that area. So potential bounce areas. If we see weakness and we do get through this, then a bounce and retest low. So a break and retest low. So 453 is the area to keep an eye on. Then we've got a possible bounce area at 451.90 to 452, that area. So this area here, and then we've got this nice area of demand. So we could potentially be looking at 450, and that's a nice round number as well. And look at that, it also coincides with this heavy volume profile as well. So more volume at that level. So if I had to take one trade today, it would probably be the bounce at 450. And if I were to take one trade, a rejection area would be the top of this zone at 458. So they're the two you want to be aiming for, but we've got the high risk trades in between as well. Right, hopefully you have a good day, and I will see some of you in our Discord room later, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.